Hello, this is Andrew with WMH Racing, and today I'm going to talk about a couple of new products that I am offering. So I had some requests from the drag racing crowd to make a load master for their 4-pole drag motors and to make an analyzer stand for the 4-pole drag motors. So I decided we might as well have a rotor master for the 4-pole drag motors as well. Alright, so let's talk about these a little bit. Let's do the analyzer stand because it's pretty much the easiest. So it's got a couple of keyed out spots in it for those motors that have the screws oriented at 120 degrees around the can. And then it will also come with 275 millimeter sensor wire. And that's what you will get with that. It works the same as the 540 analyzer test stand. You can actually fit a 540 motor in here as well. The tabs are up just a little bit higher though, so you might lose connection on some of the lower tab models like the R1. Well, you not really lose connection. You won't. It'll rotate easier. But I've ran this with a 540 motor and it works for those two. So if you're looking to just make one purchase and pick up one that works on both, get the 550. All right. Next, we're going to talk about the Loadmaster. Now, this one is a bit different, right? So you notice I even put a 550 on the bottom, so you can't get confused. But the other difference is there's 4 vent holes instead of 3, which makes this one a little bit longer. And also there's more spacing in between. You cannot use this with 2 540 motors. There's just too much space between. And to be honest, with the tabs being up as high as they are, the motors would twist too much. Now for the 550s, this is fine. So what I do need to say about this is I do not have any 550 motors. Somebody loaned me a couple of 550 motors to design this. But I personally do not have any. I don't really know what it is we're looking for when it comes to amp draw and 550 motors. The only thing I was able to do as I got on my tunalizer and I ran it on a 1S setting. The reason being is because I was loaned 6,600 kV motors, which at 8.4 volts are going to spin over 50,000 RPMs, and that's too many RPMs for this case. It's really not too many RPMs when you're not connecting it to a slave. But once you connect it to a slave and you put a load on it, the vibration, it's too much for the case. So if you're just freewheeling it and something like this, that's fine. 50,000 RPMs, no big deal. Because those 550s are actually pretty smooth. But when you put a load on it, yeah, it's 50,000 RPMs is just too much. Second reason why I went to 1S is because the current draw. At 2S, well, I didn't even know. I didn't even see what the current went wrapped up to on 2S. But on 1S, with the tunalizer, or so I should say the 3.4 volt setting on the tunalizer, it gets up to almost 10 amps with the 6600 kV. And this with the 2 ohm resistor bank instead of the 1 ohm resistor bank that comes with the standard Loadmaster. I tried the 1 ohm resistor bank and the tunalizer had a hard time running the auto mode with it. It would do the first 2 phases, first 2 parts of the mode, and then it would just kind of stall on the last part and you really couldn't get it going. Sometimes I had that happen with a 540 motor, but you know, if you flick the shaft, the motor would spin right back up without any issue. But with these, it just stayed stuck at a very, very slow rate. So because of that, I went down to a 2 ohm resistor, and I did not really have much problems with the 2 ohm resistor when I did that. However, I did find that even if the auto mode gave you issues, the manual mode still worked just fine. I did not test this on the Modalizer because I did not have any 1S batteries to test with. I've got rid of all my 1S batteries. And like I said, I suggest you use this on the 1S setting and therefore the SkyRC analyzer is kind of out of the picture because it doesn't have a 1S setting on it. All right, I think that's about all I have for the Loadmaster. I did have to send the motors back, so I'm sorry I don't really have a video with this in action, but it works just like the 540 version. So, and then, oh yeah, it does come with a 5mm to 5mm coupler, which is good, right? You need that. And also, I've updated the case. So the old Loadmaster came in a kind of a slimmer case. This case is, in my opinion, it's a much nicer case. And my new Loadmasters, or I shouldn't say new, the standard 540 Loadmasters also have got an upgrade to this case. So if you get a new one from me, they will come with this case. And just everything just fits in here much nicer. You can fit the resistor bank actually in the base for the resistor bank. Zip it up. The case is just it's more sturdy. I don't know. I think this is a much better case. It does cost slightly more than the other one, but you know, prices didn't go up, so that's fine. All right, last but not least, I would like to talk about the Rotor Master. All right, so this isn't the final design, or well, the case is the final design, but this particular one isn't the final design. There are a couple more programming things I'm working on. One of them is an instant reset button. So I know I was being asked if I could do an instant reset button on the Rotor Master. So I'm working that into the other unit, and I got to order new boards for this. But the answer is yes, I can do an instant reset button. Obviously, this one right here is not instant reset. This one takes 3 or 4 seconds. All right, so just to go over kind of some of the settings of this one though. So you're going to notice that we're going to put the rotor on the opposite side. That is so I could use the same PCB layout, and really I'll use the same PCB between the two. So I put the rotor on the opposite side, so that makes the stand that holds the rotor a little bit different. It also, the height adjustment is slightly different. And one of the bad things is there's no real measurements out there for this motor. And if you take your rotor and you put it down closer to the magnets, you're going to get different readings. So what I did is I took this rotor and I put it on an MMS reader and pretty much just set the calibration to the readings that the MMS reader put down, which was 2212 on one side and 2190 on the other. And really there's 4 poles here, so you'd really have 2 more readings, but I didn't worry about that. So yeah, we'll reset these values. Like I said, this reset button will get faster. So let's see, 2190, we're at 2193. Yep. Flip it over the other side. It should be 2212. All right, 2200. Close enough for government work. Yep, close enough for government work. All right, so it does slide quite a bit, so you can try to line up your first and third sensor readings. All right, so let's talk about some of the updates that are happening with this. All right, so one, this will measure up to 4,000 Gauss. So you won't have to worry about it. I had a Kevlar motor on here that measured like 3,000 or something like that. All right, so that is one of the updates. Another one of the updates, like I said, there will be an instant reset button, and I actually have a V2 for the 540 right here, so I'll show you instant reset button. So we hit that. We'll take a really strong rotor for you guys for this one, right? All right, so this is a Trinity 13.5 millimeter rotor, and so we're getting, you know, 2257 and 2274, and we pull this off, and boom, instant resets. All right. I am still working on the code just a little bit for these, but all right, so the things are going to be offered. Instant reset button. This is the final case design. So I very much like this case design. I've actually got the cover to the OLED display down in there, into this recess right here. I'm happy with this stand, the rotor stand. It's got plastic screws on the bottom that actually hold it to the PCB. The sensors, we can go up to 4,000 gauge now, which is great. I've added reverse polarity protection, which is, pretty cool, right? So if I plug it in backwards, no smoky. Doesn't turn on, no smoky. We got the red going into the wrong one. All right, let's plug it back in the right way. Comes back on. Awesome. All right. So, yeah, also, there is a precision voltage reference in this one now, versus I did not have a precision voltage reference before. Let me think, is that all? Case design. Yep. That does sound like everything. All right, so, Load Master 550. You'll be able to pick these up on my website at www.wmhracing.com. And you will also be able to pick them up at drcproshop.com. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.